So the transfer window has closed for the Premier League and Forest have concluded their business. But how good are the signings we have made? Welcome to the video. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to another video on Forest Fan TV. Coming up in today's video, I'm going to talk you through the 3 signings. I'm going to confirm to you the deals, and then I'm going to rate the player and what I think of the deal. And then you guys can clip it and come back to me in 6 months and tell me I was right. We'll also talk about the outgoings from Nottingham Forest, who the players are that are left. A couple of deals fell through after the deadline time, so I'll take you through those as well. But before we do all that, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And let's jump into this and let's kick it off with our new goalkeeper. So Matz Sels is a permanent deal. He's going to be with Forest until the end of 2027. It could rise up to 5 million. What the initial fee is, we don't know, but I think it will be based on appearances, clean sheets, etc. The usual kind of stuff. And obviously Forest staying up probably is a clause in a lot of the deals we see. Okay, so I've had time to soak this one up. And I am going to refer back to what I said when I was ranting about a week ago, whenever it was, about Matt Turner, that anyone is better than Turner. Now, as I said on the live stream yesterday, and shout out to all of you, we had like nearly 1,000 in there for the deadline day stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream if you were there. I feel like Forest literally took our video and took it quite literally and signed basically the first person they could get hold of. Now, was he my number one choice? No. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He gets down to about 50 and he might just creep up in there. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to stick with my initial guns on this one. He's not Matt Turner. So I am more than prepared to back him, give him all the time he needs. But I'll be honest with you, it was underwhelming. I do feel Forest could have got a better goalkeeper. I said in the summer, if we just sign Ivakovic, I said, 5.8 million he went for. All our problems would have been solved and we would have had another 15 to 20 million in the bank. But that's in the past and that's done. I'm saying this one, on the deal itself, is quite cheap. So I'm going to rate the transfer at an 8 out of 10 in terms of the fee. In terms of the player, as we showed you with the SofaScore stats yesterday, he's technically ranked as the worst goalkeeper in the French league. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 10 in terms of the player. I think he will be fine. I will add that to it. I just think we could have done better. Does that kind of make sense? Let me know if you agree with those scores and get your scores in for the 3 players down below. Let me know what you think of the player, rate the player, and then rate the transfer fee as well. So let's move on to the next one. And this, I will have to say, is definitely my favorite player that we bought in this transfer window. I love Giovanni Reyna. I think there's a great player in him. I think he will flourish in Forest. I think he will give us an element in the team that we didn't have before. Someone who can take hold of that ball, someone who can progress it forward, and someone who's going to win us loads of free kicks and literally just push the team higher up the pitch. So I'm really excited about seeing him. I hope he's going to start on Sunday against Bournemouth. I'm going to give the player a 9 out of 10. I think this, for me, this is one that 2 or 3 years ago, all the big boys were talking about him. He was the next big thing, etc. Yes, the injury slowed him down, but trust me, speak to the Dortmund fans, see what they think of him. Speak to the USA fans, see what they think of him. As long as they don't rate Turner, then you can take their opinion. And look back at the comments on the Reyna videos. There's loads of them. Shout out to both sets of those fans who have just been positive about Reyna and the deal here. So I'm sticking with a 9. In terms of the deal itself, I don't like it. I wanted an option on this as a bare minimum. Even if it was an obligation, I'd be happy with it because of the quality we're going to get. And my main reason for not liking it is that if Reyna does what I think he can do on the pitch, his valuation is just going to go up and up and up. And that would be because of us. Now, I know a lot of you say, okay, so what? If he plays well on the pitch, Forest go up the league table. We're happy. Who cares? I'm just thinking of the longevity rather than the short term on this one. So I'm going to give this deal, it's a 6. It's a 6 out of 10. If it had a loan, it would be a 10 out of 10. If it had an option to buy, it would be a 10 out of 10. But that knocks off quite a few points for me. So I'm giving this one a 6 out of 10. Now, let's move on to the third signing, which is Rodrigo. This one, I don't know, is going to be my opening gambit on this. So the deal itself is a loan with a potential obligation to buy, depending on whether or not Forest stay in the Premier League this season. And Forest could end up paying between 10 and 15 million. Just to quickly recap on the deal, he signed a contract with Sporting before he joined Forest, with a release fee clause of 69 million inserted into it. That has no impact on Forest. Think of it like when, I don't know, Mbappe gets a new contract and they slap a 400 million pound release fee clause. No one's going to pay on it, but if they did, they'll take the money. Forest do have an option on him, and as I just said, it's if Forest stay up, and it's meant to be somewhere between 10 and 15 million pounds as well. So I don't mind the deal. My problem with it is he going to get the game time? Because if he doesn't get the game time and Forest don't field him, and we end up buying him in the summer because, of course, hopefully we survive, then it's a bit of a risk. And that's 10 or 15 million pounds that could have been spent on a player that had been scouted. However, if we do give him the game time, then it could potentially see this kid flourish and become good, because he is highly thought after in the Portuguese world. So there's a little risk involved in it. Now, I'm not adverse to Forest taking some risks. I kind of like that he's young, a bit of an unknown. People talk about the Brighton model. They do things like this with the South American players. We've done it with Danilo, we've done it with Murillo, etc. We've had a decent success ratio. So I'm going to trust that they've scouted him well enough. It feels to me like Forest wanted to buy this player, but they want to push the finances into the next window of PSR. And that's what I think's happened with this. So it's hard to judge this one. So I can't give it like 10 out of 10 or anything. I'm going to go 6 across both, because honestly, he's a bit of an unknown to me. So 6 on the player and a 6 on the deal itself as well. Do you agree with those 3 or not? Let me know. All right, so 3 in and 9 out. So let me quickly run through the players for you so you know who's who when it comes to who's left. So the first big one, the headline of this transfer window, was obviously Mangala leaving. So the loan fee is believed to be between 8 and 10 million. And then there is an obligation, we're pretty sure now, to buy of somewhere between 15 and 20 million. These reports are still, honestly, I've heard 10 million up front for the loan fee. I've heard 10 million as an obligation. I've heard 10 million loan, 20 million option to buy. There's a lot. But at the moment, let's just work on it until I can get full clarification. 10 million loan, 8.5, sorry, I think it was, for the loan fee, and then up to 20 million on an obligation. I mean, if you heard Ant and Crypto talking about him yesterday, you'd have think we'd sold, a child or something. I think I'm okay with this one. Forest 8.5 million. Even if they don't buy him, either we get him back or we sell him to someone else for a good price as well. So that was the first one. Mangala going. Get your thoughts in on him. You happy he's gone or not? Scarpa, let's not forget about him. He got sold for about 5 million euros. I'll say no more if I speak. McKenna's gone to Copenhagen, so that's number 3. That's a loan transfer. Remember, McKenna's contract's up in the summer anyway, so he's as good as done at Nottingham Forest. Emmanuel Dennis, he's gone out to Watford on loan, where Forest are paying 30% of his wages, and then no one else is paying the rest. You got Horvath, who's completed as a permanent, so he's gone to Cardiff. Then you've got Panzo, who's gone out on loan to Standard Liège. You got Alex Maiton, who's gone to Port Vale. Brandon Aguilera, who went late just after the window, but we told you about it on the stream, to Bristol Rovers. And then Andre Santos, who left Nottingham Forest quite early in the window to go back to Chelsea. So a few things I want to add to that. So that means that, the main one to add to that is Aurier. Aurier's deal has collapsed with Galatasaray. Forest and Galatasaray can't come to certain terms in the negotiations, and they've both walked away. Now, there is still time for them to sit back down and have another chat. Maybe once Aurier is back from AFCON, if he's in time before the Turkish window closes, that one can get done. But as things stand, that is deal off. The other one that surprised me is that Origi has remained currently. Now, the MLS window is open for longer. So I still expect him to leave, and I still expect him to go to LA. That's the main link to him currently. And then Nuno Tavares, who Arsenal wanted to sell to Marseille and Marseille wanted to buy. And for whatever reason, be it Nuno or be it the club, they are really keen on keeping him. And if that's the case, you fully expect him to start becoming the number one left back, which we'll talk about teams in another video. So in terms of those loans, they haven't gone through. Now, what's interesting is I need to calculate up exactly how many loans Forest currently have, because there are limits to the loan. We don't want to get ourselves into another Shelby situation like we heard about a couple of weeks ago that happened in the summer. So it could get a little messy, but I'm going to trust that Forest have done it. I think it's 7 loans internationally that Forest can have going out. And you can have, if I remember the rules here, don't quote me, but it's something like you can have 6 loans, but only 4 active on your books. So wait for me to confirm that. I'll probably do it in the next video or so. But what's good about the number that have gone out, that's about 9 or 10 players, potentially could rise to 11, who are now off the books for this month. The only problem is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, over half that have gone out are just loan deals, which means we're going to have the same problem when we come back in the summer when they return after their loans expire. But we got 4 or 5 out, depending on if Aurier can end up at Galatasaray. So not too bad. It's hard to get 3 or 4 players out the door. If you look at this transfer window, it's been one of the quietest that I can remember in a January transfer window. And for Forest to have moved that many players, honestly, isn't too bad at all. 9 is a big amount to move. Most clubs will be happy if they've moved 3 or 4 that they've been trying to get rid of. So that will shrink the squad size down. We can already start to see the Nuno Santo effect. He wants to work with the smaller squad. I expect there to be a few people bombed out of the squad. I think Worrell may be bombed out. I think a couple of others like that. Maybe Czech Kyoto, but Nuno has involved him in a few of his squads since he's been at Nottingham Forest. But expect that this squad gets condensed down. And Nuno will work with a core group as they try to build the chemistry and deploy Nuno's philosophy. So that brings you up to date on everything on the transfers so far. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget we got the predictor stream coming up, so make sure you've put your predicted results in. That will be this afternoon. And then that might be it for today, guys. We're going to do the Gore on Saturday night because Forest are playing on Sunday. And at some point, I've got to get some sleep. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. We'll see you on the predictor stream. Come on, you Reds.